Hi, I'm Michael Kane, and I am presenting on behalf of Group 6 and presenting our Airborne Express case analysis. So to begin, we'll take a look at the express mail industry and how it's evolved over the last few years. So essentially, the recent technological advancements, the internet, that sort of thing, are driving macro trends that are driving increased business activity, and as a result, the express mail industry is responding to this increased demand and using technological advancements on their end to improve service offerings, speed, and then also consolidating to offer a broader reach and increase their speed of delivery. There's been an increasing focus on marketing and advertising because they're trying to address these additional services that they are providing that increase the willingness to pay for the customer. There's been a recent shift in pricing toward a pricing by distance. And then also, in addition to these rising costs associated with the technological advancements and the additional services, there is the fact that the employee unions have been driving up higher labor costs. And then how has this affected the smaller competitors? Well, it's raised the barriers to entry costs for competing with the larger players such as FedEx and UPS. Smaller competitors are unable to compete, and so they must be able to carve out a niche market and sort of protect their own specific thing. For example, DHL and other companies like focus on a specific service, so be it international or heavy freight. And then lastly, the consolidation is scooping up these smaller companies to provide greater distribution capabilities. So why has Airborne survived? Essentially, they have been really focused with their strategy. They've been targeting the B2B customers only and only choosing ones that work with their business model. And then they're also focused on keeping costs low, only offering specific services, not offering the additional add-on services that like UPS and FedEx offer. In addition, they've prospered due to industry forces, not necessarily anything that they've done explicitly. It's just been an overall demand increase for shipping and logistics, and then that they've benefited, and that's enabled them to carve out a piece of that growing, expanding market. And then the recent success is attributed to the UPS strike. So looking at their competitive advantage, clearly it's their low-cost strategy that's allowing them to carve out this specific part of the market. Like we said, they have a uniform customer type. They're not focused on advertising, using using their assets more efficiently, and then also outsourcing some of the delivery. So in addition to these low costs, they're also providing lower prices to the customer. So if we look at the breakdown by line item here, you can see that Airborne is clearly lower across the board, and then the overall cost essentially is roughly $1.50 lower, and then therefore their pricing at $1.50 or more lower is still providing value to their customers. So what must the COO do in order to strengthen the position? Essentially, they need to keep pursuing this really targeted strategy and make sure that they can carve out a part of the market that is difficult for competitors to copy and take over. And I think that this is something that would provide a great acquisition target for some of these larger companies. It would enable larger companies to broaden their reach. And so in order to do that market carving, they need to focus on the B2B and maybe focus on marketing and advertising toward those B2B customers and strategically choosing their partnerships, optimize efficiency and possibly international expansion if they can justify it. Essentially, there's no other low-cost players in the low-cost position internationally, so that could be a good option for them to pursue. Pricing, they should definitely switch to the distance-based pricing so that they're not losing money on the long distance and losing business on the short distance. And then focus on building their reputation for low cost and improving the reliability. Lastly, why are they still in business? Why haven't FedEx and UPS taken over their business? Basically, it's a growing market, and so there's room for additional improvements and places that FedEx and UPS can allocate their resources. So the opportunity cost of taking out Airborne exceeds the benefit that they would get from it. And then additionally, they hold a really small market segment, so it's not a significant threat that's really impeding the competition's advances in the market. And then lastly, how do we explain their unique set of activity choices? Essentially, they are focused on driving a wedge between willingness to accept and willingness to pay, but they're targeting the low-cost position, so decreasing willingness to accept. FedEx and UPS have taken a different approach and increasing willingness to pay using these higher cost services and stuff. So FedEx and UPS have kind of restricted themselves to these higher unit costs, and unless they can really expand their volume, they're going to have a difficult time replicating that. And then as far as smaller customers replicating, or smaller competitors replicating it, the assets and their footprint in the market is a huge barrier to entry for these other competitors. Thank you.